Real Estate Investing Profits presents Profit Masters with your host, world-renowned real estate coach and investor, Cory Boatwright. Now, strap in and get ready to learn elite wealth-building investment strategies taught by 6- and 7-figure house flipping masters as they reveal their best real estate investing profit secrets to you right now.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Cory Boatwright, founder of Real Estate Investing Profits, and your host for Profit Masters podcast series. And today we have a duo. We have a father-son team. They are incredible and somebody you're going to want to pay a lot of attention to. Their names are Greg and Matt Sneyd from the Muve Group in Salt Lake City. And Matt is pretty young. I think right now Matt's around 22. At 19 years old, Matt partnered with his dad, Greg, and they created the real estate investment company that you're going to hear a little bit about. It's also known as G&M Property Solutions, where they do flipping, and they do new construction, and they do rehabs, and they do just about everything else you can imagine, including land, okay? They are someone you will learn a lot from. You know, Matt believes in copying genius and not creating mediocrity. And he's learned a ton of information because he invests in education. And you're going to hear in the interview how that's important to him. Him and his dad are also in the Collective Genius Mastermind. And my buddy Jason Medley created that, and it's an amazing group. So you want to make sure you check that out over at thecollectivegenius.com. See if you have the chops to get in the group. It's an amazing group. So what you need to do is a couple things. First, you need to text the word profit, or that number is 38470, 38470. Text that, and I'm going to send you my ultimate real estate investing quick start guide. And I sell this every day on Amazon. You don't have to pay for it. It'll come right to you in a PDF. You get it immediately whenever you text profit or the number 38470. And it'll come right back to you. Makes it easy for you. My gift, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, get strapped in because you're going to love this interview. And here we go. Matt and Greg Sneyd. Matt, Greg, you guys there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, good. How you doing?
Excellent.
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, so thanks for showing up on the Profit Masters, Real Estate Investing Profit Masters series. We've been having some fantastic real estate rock stars on here. Obviously, you guys are rocking it out there in Utah. And I'd like to go ahead and just take a few minutes to explain about your business, about who you are, and what's your real expertise in real estate.
So a quick recap of who we are. We're a father-son team. We've been doing this business for about 9 years now.
Which one's better looking right now? Because I'm trying to see if I have better hair than Greg over there, but I think he's got me beat.
Yeah, he's got that awesome little gray going on, So we've been doing it about 9 years. My mom's in the business as well, more on the retail side of things. And we've gone through different cycles and different models in the business. Currently, we're focusing on the wholesale model, and we also run a traditional real estate team of agents that we coach and train, and do some development as well, new construction.
Cool. Okay, and Greg, and let's just get the introductions correctly. Matt, this is a young one. Greg is the dad.
I'm 28. I look about 22, but I'm 28.
And I'm older than that.
And you're a little older than that. Okay. And one of the ways, again, that we've met is in a real estate mastermind. It's a common theme that we have many people that show up on here from the Collective Genius. A good friend of ours, both, Jason Medley, started Collective Genius 5 years ago. And we met there. And one of the things I thought was really interesting about obviously you're the son and the dad duo with your mom as well, but you've really got this business down from a professional standpoint. I wish you could show, maybe we will in the show notes, we'll put a link here to see your logo, and it's really professional. I mean, you've kind of attacked this business in a way that's not just from a rogue standpoint. I mean, you connected the dots pretty well and made it into a professional business. I want to ask you, what first got you involved in real estate? And both of you guys can speak or whatever.
Yeah, this was over 9 years ago. I had a good friend of mine. I was in the dental space at the time, and we were providing marketing services to dentists, something called the Crown Council on Dental Success. And one of the guys that was involved with that was doing real estate. And he told me about it and tell me about how much money he was making. And make a long story short, we decided to give it a try and went to a seminar that he put on. And then he said, so I said, okay, that was good. What do we do next? And he said, you got to go to Ron Legrand's seminar. We went to that. And at that seminar, you were allowed to bring someone for free, you know, the pitch, right? And so Matt was working in a car wash and going to university at the time. And I said, how'd you like to learn about real estate? So he and I went to the school. It was a 5-day school. I think it was in Chicago, someplace like that.
Yeah.
And we came back and we just started implementing. And one of the things that we learned is that you really need to implement. So learn something new, go back, do it. Okay. So at that time, they said, you don't have much money. What you need to do is wholesale deals, market, find them, sell them, doesn't take any money. We came back, did that, found a house, made $50,000 on it in 1 week, and said to ourselves, okay, we're in,
right?
And that changed things. And so Matt and I started our partnership. My wife wasn't involved with us at the time, and we've just been rocking it ever since.
You know what? Take me back before then, if you wouldn't mind. Was there a moment where, and sometimes there's not, and if there's not, that's okay. Was there a moment in your business career, or just kind of as you're chugging along here, where you kind of said, enough's enough, where you wanted to do something different? Like, what made you want to go to that real estate convention in the first place?
You know, I was happy doing what I was doing, but I really wanted to create a business where I could have a family business.
Okay.
And so it wasn't so much that enough was enough, but it was more, okay, this is an opportunity that fits in with what I would really like best for me and my family.
I gotcha. Okay.
So when Matt and I went, we went to the seminar. We didn't know if we'd walk out of there and it would be like just a total bust.
Right.
But we walked out and Matt and I just started doing stuff, and it clicked, you know. So it turned out that enough was enough, because we didn't have to do that other stuff anymore, and we've been doing this ever since.
I bought those same courses.
Yeah.
The red one, the green one, the blue one. Remember, he made them all color coded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I heard Ron Legrand talk for the very first time, it was very inspirational. So I could see how that would be one of your big influences. And you know what, that kind of answers that next question, was one of your influences starting. Obviously Ron Legrand one was. Is there any other influences that you can think of that were real big for you?
We went through a lot of seminars, just like
probably the rule of thumb that we use is go to spend about 10% of your income back in education to invest back into yourself, and end up going to something about once every quarter, right?
Why 10%? Where's that number
I
come
just
from?
heard that somewhere, and it kind of worked out, and that's what we've been doing. And it's not like we physically make sure it's like, oh, we're above or below, but like that's kind of what we shoot for. And then that ends up being about a seminar or a course or something every quarter that we're investing in, whether it's specifically real estate related or not. And it just helps us stay on top of our game. You know, and I would say the biggest influence recently is, of course, how we got close with you as a Collective Genius.
Yeah, it's been great just having so many great rock stars in a mastermind, and specific to a real estate mastermind. It's been fantastic. You know, one of the cool stories comes from not just from your successes, but what you learn from some of your, and I don't even like the word failure. think about it differently, and I know you do too, but the things that you learn from going through your challenges. Can you think of a challenge, maybe even recently? It doesn't have to be recent, but one of your big hard deals that you had to go through, and can you explain how you dealt with it, how you got through with it?
Well, I think the first big lesson we had was back in 07, 08 with everyone else. I'm not, a lot of people went through that. We learned those lessons. I think the key to this business is being able to persevere, realizing that you are in it for the long haul and figuring out how to get through that. But that also involves some planning ahead. I remember we went to a seminar, another guy, Richard Group, and one of the things that he said was, you never know when the market's going to crap out. So you need to make sure that you have got as many credit cards as possible and got a limit as high as you can on those credit cards when your credit is good, because you never know when you're going to need it.
Sure.
And that particular bit of advice got us through 08, because pretty much used up all of the credit card debt that was available to us, and then moved on from that. And so, that was a big lesson for us. And once you get through something like that, and you say, okay, we're going to make it through, and we're going to do this, we're going to work our butt off, there's nothing that's going to stop you.
And then twofold to that, I think, would be like the next level of lesson learned is to have a little bit more foresight. Like back then, we weren't ever watching market statistics or talking to people, networking. What do you feel? Where's the market headed? And how are we positioning ourselves for a change if there is one, so that we don't have to rely on the credit. It's like if you don't know that stuff, then the credit was a great thing to fall back on. Now we're looking a couple steps ahead every single time to make sure we don't even have to go to that spot ever again.
The other thing at that point in time, we were just doing flips, rehab flips, okay? Really just one stream, okay? Made it very difficult. Now we've diversified, and we've got rental properties. We do wholesale flips. We do smaller rehabs. We do new construction. We're doing land development. There's all kinds of things, so that if one of them doesn't pan out the way we want it, we've got other things to fall back on.
Other things to fall back on, not having all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
What's one of the reasons that we have our guests on here? Again, appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy to be on here, is to talk about a profit master investing strategy. Obviously, you guys are rocking it out there, and if there's a strategy that you can talk about, something that's working extremely well in your business right now. I know that you're givers. You don't really believe in the scarcity mindset. We all are kind of that way in the mastermind. What's one way that's just crushing it right now that's what we call our profit master investing strategy you can share with those listeners right now?
It's funny because we said how we got started was wholesaling, and now 9 years later we're back in it, and that's our main model right now.
Okay.
And we switched that just not too long ago, and that is our main focus of what we've switched to. The reason we like that is it's fairly simple, it's systemizable. You can train the team fairly easily to do it, and you think that's like what you need to do to be a newbie to get into it, but when you actually treat it like a business and then take and scale it up in volume, it's a pretty awesome investment strategy. That being said, I think the second level to that strategy is the systems. We've really focused on the systems. We have a guy on our team named Cory. Him and I work together to build the system and perfect it, and we're always kind of making it better. We use Podio. There's a bunch of them out there, but we've recently switched over to Podio and customized it to our business, and that's been the biggest game changer is having a really good system that just works.
Yeah, CRM is a big deal.
Yeah.
You may have a lot of listeners that are saying, well, what do you mean by system? And system is basically something that makes a lot of things that you have to do with a wholesale deal or a retail deal so that they are automatically done, and there's a checklist of everything. It's assigned to someone so nothing falls through the cracks. So you go from the start of that project to the end of the project, and you go through a critical path, and everything gets done, and you make as many things automatic as possible. If an email has to go out, it automatically goes out, things like that. So you have a system in place to make that happen. The one other thing that we really found helped our business significantly was the creation of our brand. We spend a lot of time and a lot of money, and most of the credit goes to Matt for doing that, so that we're not just a flipper, okay? We've created the Muve brand, M-U-V-E. We have the wholesale side of it, we have the retail side of it, and we got a lot of recognition from that, and people call us and know who we are.
I would say, you know, that's one thing that makes you noticeable whenever I think about the Sneyds, how it kind of separates you apart, is your branding is really top notch.
Yeah, and that was something I went to, like, we have Design Week here in Salt Lake, and they throw a bunch of different speakers and events and that kind of stuff in relation to design and architecture and all that. And someone came to speak about branding, and I ended up going to that, like, I think it was an hour or two long. But I was like, it just kind of the light bulb went on. Like, nobody in the investing world brands themselves. It's all like, let's stay under the radar. Let's be like, you know, quiet. Let's be the investor in the background, or even agents on the traditional side. It's like their brand is themselves,
right?
You know, as a person, like, you know, their name. And I was like, well, what if you want to retire? Like, now your brand's gone. So it's like we had to build a brand for both these companies or business models that if we don't want to ever step away, it's not like they're relying on me or Greg or someone on our team. It's just that the group that they associate with.
Can you just share just a few minutes on that approach compared to, you know, cash for houses with the number 4 and, you know, houses with a Z, you know, rogue kind of marketing that works and bandit signs that work. But can you share the strategy that you've used, Matt, on working with the Muve logo, the branding, how that's differentiated you in the marketplace in a positive way? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. With our brand, we wanted to take a step above everybody else in the sense it's not necessarily a luxury brand, but it is definitely a level above everybody. And in our market, it's important because there is a ton of competition. So we kind of took a more artsy approach to it, made it so that we have some credibility. When people hit our site, they're like, okay, these guys are serious. These guys know what they're doing.
Right.
And it makes a difference. I mean, when someone talks to us and they're talking to 2 or 3 other investors, when our guy shows up and he's in good looking clothes, we send a credibility email. They hit our website. They see all the videos that we have so they can get to know us. We've now just differentiated ourselves from all the other guys out there that might be fly by night guys.
Also, you use video too within your branding a lot.
Yeah, our video, we have over probably 60 videos on our site that we've done over the last year or 2. So we heavily like video because it gets people, they're able to know us before they even meet us.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times people have come in for the initial meeting, whether it's on the wholesale or traditional side, and they already are sold. They already know. They come in and they're talking to us and saying our inside jokes. And it's like, it was kind of weird to begin with, but it's like, that means it's working, right?
Right.
So it's really cool to have people come in and they're saying the jokes or the nicknames for our properties that we have, and they know which ones they are and everything. But that's a huge step in difference. And basically we wanted to take the mindset of like, we don't want to be these shady fly-by-night, under the radar guys. We want to be out there. Like, we're legit. We pull permits on all our remodels. We're using all state-approved contracts. Nothing that's like a 2-page short kind of put together by an attorney.
Right.
That's as streamlined as possible, so you can get out of the contract if you want. It's all above board, and we use that in our presentation or in our marketing. Is like, we're not going to be those guys that you need to worry about, and we have testimonials for people that we work with to differentiate ourselves. That was a big thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is in the video. And I'll put this in the show notes. I'll put a link there so folks can see your site. I think immediately once they go to your site, it feels different. It feels arts. It feels modern. It feels trustworthy.
Yes.
I really love how you differentiated yourself from your quote competitors. I don't even look at them as competitors, as not competition, but co-opetition.
Yeah.
What's Greg, maybe you answer this one. What's one piece of advice that you would share about running a successful real estate business?
Well, I mentioned it before, but you really have to, 2 things. One is implement.
Okay.
So it's one thing, and it's speed of implementation. Okay. So figure out what needs to be done, whether it's at a seminar, whether it's from someone else, a Collective Genius, whether it's someone else in your market, mentor, whatever. Figure out what needs to be done, what's working, what's not working. Go after the stuff that is working, and then figure out how to implement. Okay. Get it done. Matt is much better at implementing than I am. I have a certain skill set.
So I stay up till 2 a.m.
Yeah, you know, he busts it out, does all-nighters and stuff, gets implement, like stuff that just happens. You come in and things are happening. Right. The other important thing is don't give up, persevere. Like, it is not always good. You know, there are times when you're wondering what is going on. I mean, when we first started doing the wholesale business, it took off really well, and then all of a sudden it dropped off. And it was like, what happened? You know, and so we got to then figure out what happened, go after it, and make it work again.
Sure. If you had to start all over again, and this is something I tend to kind of target where someone just new is maybe starting in that mindset. If you had to start all over again, what would you change?
In hindsight, I would say they don't ever teach this at the courses. They teach you to go get hard money and use OPM, other people's money, and everything like that, right? But they never tell you that how big of a cost that is. So if we look over the past 5 to 10 years of how much money we paid in interest to other people, it's millions of dollars. And not that that's a bad thing, but if I could change anything, I would have. We got into it and started to ramp up pretty big. We did wholesales, and then when we got into remodels, we started doing like 3, 4, 5, 10 remodels at a time. I would have probably done a little bit slower ramp up into the remodel business and snowballed the money, where we took a loan, we did 2 or 3 deals that were moderate size and cherry picked them, took those profits, and then used less of
the next one. Yeah.
Because at this point in time, we're finally at the point where we don't always have to use other people's money on our flips. We're doing less flips. We're cherry picking the ones we're doing. We're using all of our own money for the most part, lower price range. And now we're capturing like 10, 15 grand more on these deals than we used to. And if I would have done that 5, 10 years ago, I think we would have saved a lot in interest costs.
That's great. That's a great
Whenever you go to a seminar, they say, you're making so much money on these deals that you're doing, it's okay to pay 2 or 3 points up front and 12 to 15% interest.
Right.
That's not the way you should go about this business.
You should start, yes, but
you need to figure out as quickly as possible how you can get cheaper money and how you can keep more of your money so that you don't have to go and get that money. That would be the biggest thing. I mean, we'd have millions more.
Yes. Yeah, you do pay a lot in points and interest, and obviously it doesn't sound like a big deal on 1 or 2 houses, but then you take that times 10, or you take it times 20, or however many deals, you know, you're doing 100+ deals a year, it starts to add up really fast. I would also agree that, you know, if you can find a private lender, which a private lender typically will just loan you money around 7-8%, you know, they're happy with that. They can secure it with real estate. You've usually known that person for a while, or they come from someone that respects and knows someone that you know. And so you have that kind of built-in relationship already. You do one deal, you show them that works, you do another deal, and you build the relationship. And you can have that, quote, cheaper money like that. In the beginning, I think, like Matt was talking about, there's not a lot of options. And so they want to take down a deal. They can make $30,000 or $40,000 on it, but they got to pay, you know, a couple points and percentage on that deal. I think what happens is they start to include that lender a part of their business model, and they forget, like you're saying, that after a while you have your own money, you have your own opportunities to be able to go in, and then when you have more money, you have a little bit more options. And then you start building in and putting your own money into these deals.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing with that is the brand also helped with that. Like, we are getting most of the money we do use when we use it is private people at 8% or less and no points. And that makes a huge difference. Like, it's a lot of money at the end of the day. And being able to utilize the brand and our website to create credibility, to find these people and have them trust us, that was another plus from the brand that we created.
That's great. What's a favorite motivational or business quote that both of you like?
I like copy genius, don't create mediocrity.
Oh, that's good.
There was a guy that when I was in the dental industry, his name was Walter Haley. He's not with us anymore, but he said, don't try and, invent the wheel. There's lots of people that have invented things out there, but they've created things, right. which is really what Collective Genius is all about. Okay, right. You've got all these people all across the nation. They figured out what works, what doesn't work. All you got to do is go in and copy what they're doing.
Right.
Okay, rather than spinning your wheels, trying to figure out how to figure out what someone else and copy that genius
and just tweak. Just small tweaks for your personal business, because no business is the same, but when you got 90% of it done and I only have to do 10, it makes a huge difference. And one of my favorite ones as well is education without implementation is just entertainment. And that's just like one of those implementation things. It's like, if you're just sitting in the course, you're not going to go do anything. You're just there to listen to somebody and have fun, kind of thing. So take what you learn and go do it.
Go do it. Go implement. That's great. What's a book that you recommend, or maybe one that's really changed your life?
I've read a lot of books. But the one I liked the most was one called No Excuses by Brian Tracy. It basically says, and this is not just applies to your business life, but your personal life, your business goals, your money goals. And it basically says it's really up to you. And it's all about self-discipline and what you have to do to make sure that you get done what needs to be done. Really good book.
Yeah, I read it after he read it, and because he recommended I do it. And it's a very, very empowering book. But it's funny, if you have the wrong mindset or you're not in the right place, I recommended it to one of my other friends. And he read it and he's like, "This is depressing."
I was just gonna say, if you're not there, it's gonna depress you. I read the book, so yeah, that's great. Wow,
right or wrong,
Yeah. What's a favorite mobile app that you use on your business every day?
I'm the app guy. Obviously, I'm the young guy. I teach him how to stay up with technology. I would say. We get a lot of business off of social media, actually. So with our brand, we leverage the brand through social media. So Instagram is a big one for us for sure. We have our Podio app that I'm using every day, which is for a CRM app. It's super comprehensive and things about it.
Sure.
Every other CRM I've used it's like their app is like half the capacity of the actual program.
Yeah, Podio app's great.
Yeah, and then the Camera Plus app is what we use for all photography and what we post to Instagram and Facebook to do photo editing on the fly. And photo in real estate, whether it's traditional or investment, is huge. I mean, that's what is going to pull people. So every property, whether it's a good one or bad one, using a photographer, getting it photoshopped and having good photos, because that draws people in.
This one right here is interesting, if you can see this. It is called Speak Photo.
Photo, yeah.
So it's interesting. You can take a picture of the photo, take a picture of something, and you can speak for that photo. And then when you share it, it has your little commentary of what you said about the photo. So a lot of real estate agents are using it here in Oklahoma, and it's pretty interesting because you'll see a kitchen and they'll say something different about that kitchen, or they'll see the yard, or you'll say something different about how big the place is. And I've been checking it out. It's pretty cool. You can share it back and forth to friends on text. That one's been pretty cool. And also on social media, you mentioned, have you used Buffer app before?
Mm-hmm.
So Buffer app takes all of these different, it aggregates all these different social media platforms, and you can create a comment. Okay, you create an update, and you can hit one button, and it automatically goes and it hits every single one of your social media platforms. So if it's LinkedIn, if it's Google Plus, if it's Twitter, if it's any of your Facebook pages, Facebook groups, and private groups as well. So even if it's an open or a business page. So Buffer app is pretty cool. It's a free one, but you want to get the paid. It's like $10 a month because it gives you up to like 15 different things you can connect it to. But talking about social media, you should check that out for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
Yeah. Cool. What's a morning routine? What's your morning routine look like?
Well, Matt's is sleeping in.
I'll talk about my night routine. He's got a morning routine. I got a night routine.
I wake up between 6 and 6:30.
Okay.
And what I'm doing now is I'm going out to the driving range or the golf course for the first hour to hour and a half, and just kind of getting into that space. Something totally unrelated to work. Then I come back, usually in the office by 9. We start off with a team meeting at 9, and then that's pretty much my morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt's morning starts at about midnight.
Technically, it's still morning, Greg.
Yeah, like I have a morning routine, but it's nothing that I really want to brag about. But the night routine is what I do probably 3 or 4 nights a week, or I don't know, 2 to 3 nights a week. Is I'll work till 5, and then I go take a break and go get some food and do something, whether it's go hit balls or go play some golf, or go look at some of the houses. I just get out and go take my mind off of things, even if it is work related, but just get out and relax and have a little bit of fun, go meet up with some friends for drinks or whatever. And then I come back to the office, and that's where I just buckle down and do all the minutia or detail work, right? And that's where I take the leaps from not just staying up to speed with the day and putting out the fires, but where I can actually take the business from here to here to here to the next step and actually have those big leaps happen. And I'll usually take, whether it's big or small, I'll take a goal, a project for the night that I just want to see all the way through, or at least make some very decent, large headway on it, where I'm not interrupted, where there's not people calling me and bugging me and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, you can do the same thing in the morning. It's just I'm not a morning person, so I choose to do it at night.
Sure. What's a big lesson that you've learned that's helped you get to where you are today?
You think of anything? Biggest lesson?
Yeah, there's been a lot of them.
Right. I ask this question to all the guests, and sometimes they're like, that's like naming my favorite kid.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many, there's so many different ones. Can you think of one that just has really stuck with you that maybe you passed on to Matt, Greg?
I think the biggest lesson that I learned is that I used to be the kind of guy that wanted to do everything myself.
Okay.
The biggest lesson that I learned is that's not the way to be. Find people that are smarter than you are. Put your ego aside and get really talented people. I got really lucky because Matt's a really smart guy, hard worker, took the business way beyond anything that I could have done on my own. And then hire people that are just like us, but really smart. And I think that was a huge, huge lesson. And we've got people on our team now. Everyone is like super, super intelligent in a certain specific area, and we work together as a team. And I let them do whatever they got to do. I kind of oversee it all and make sure it all makes sense, and that I understand it. But they're way better at doing the things they do than I would ever be.
Yeah, there's no I in team, right?
No I in team.
Yeah.
No, and we have an awesome team now.
Yeah. Team's huge. I think my greatest lesson is probably twofold. One, don't believe everything you hear at seminars, because even if they're doing,
it's not all true, Matt.
yeah, even if they're doing it, they may have not checked to see if it's legal or right in your state. They're not really, they don't care really, right? So a lot of it's probably good content, works for them. Whether it's above board or not could be a different question. Whether it's above board in your state could be a different question.
Sure.
And we got burned pretty hard a couple of years ago in relation to something like that. And so that was one huge lesson, that it's like, okay, if we learn these, we're going to verify and make sure. We're not going to just trust people that this is okay to do. Let's make sure it is. And even if it feels wrong or it feels somewhat shady or you have any bad feeling about it, like, listen to your gut, right? And then the second part of that is to not to give up. Like when the going gets tough and crap hits the fan, like you gotta go through it, learn your lessons, and then become a better person from it. And that was one thing that I definitely learned the last couple of years. That is, you know, what we went through a few different times on lessons we've learned. Anyone could have easily had a good excuse to quit or give up or whatever. And it's like, for me, that motivated me to try harder and go and do more and even be that much better. You know, I grew from it, and I'm a much better person because of it now.
That's great. I love that. What are you most grateful for right now?
I'm most grateful for, of course, my family. Matt's got 2 sisters, and I'm just grateful that we can work together.
That's awesome. It's really amazing. It is cool.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity to work with Matt every day, and I'm not making it sound like it's all just rosy every day. Okay, we get at one another every once in a while, but you know, we know how to move beyond that and learn from that. Right. I have another daughter who's in the title business as well, so we get to work with her every day. She closes every one of her deals, and she married someone that's a broker in the real estate industry. So it's really grown into a family business. I'm very, very grateful. You know, a lot of people that we talk to, they never talk to their kids. They're not involved with their family, that kind of stuff. That's almost a crime. So we're just hugely grateful for that.
Yeah, I would agree.
There you go. To knock out 2 birds with 1 stone on that. That's awesome. You guys inspire me. I mean, that's amazing. What point would you recommend hiring a coach or a mentor? How important has that been to your success personally?
Day one. I mean,
huge.
It's
huge.
It's something that I think a lot of people undervalue, mostly because there's bad coaches out there too, right? But it is a key to your success from day one until the end. I mean, we have been taking courses, having coaches. And even if it's not an official coach, but someone you look up to, people that I'm meeting with on a quarterly basis to bounce ideas off of. I've been doing that ever since I was 19 and got into this business. And then we're still doing it today. And the version of Collective Genius is kind of our mentor group, where we're talking to people on I'm talking to somebody from there probably once every week or 2. Which is huge. I mean, just to reassure and bounce an idea off of and say, hey, I had this, or I'm doing this, what are you doing, or what would you recommend, or what do you think, is huge. But especially in the beginning, like I have so many people approaching us because of our brand and our presence in our city, that they want help they want something for nothing. And it's like, I have a hard time doing it because I don't have an official coaching business or anything. But I know they need official coaching, and I know they could use it. And most of the time I'm just kind of giving them as much as I can without taking too much of my time up. But I can see that if they really were committed to, like, you know, either actually committing to the business or bringing something to the table, it would make a huge difference in their ramp up speed to make it in this business, you know?
Yeah, maybe even create a meetup group right there.
Exactly.
Really cool.
Well, it's, you know, for example, every morning I go to the driving range or the golf course. I have a coach. I have someone that I meet with once a week that helps me to improve my golf swing. And, you know, you've got to have someone that's really good, that knows the sport or the business, that can keep you on track. And if you don't do that, you end up making mistakes, you know? So you should start with a coach. and then you should develop as many relationships with other geniuses so you can copy what they do.
That's great. You know, there's so many different approaches to that, and starting with a coach is actually one fresh approach. And I really appreciate you saying that. It is an incredible advantage. I feel whenever you see anyone that has a great coach, they just have an advantage, right? They have an accountability advantage. They usually follow through more, and a lot of it has to do with the coach. Let me ask you another question. This one's a little bit more deeper. Why do you do what you do? Why is it? Is it the money? Is it the relationships with your family? Why do you do this real estate business?
Well, I've always said, and I've been in situations where it was about the money, and I found that the money's not what's important. As soon as you start thinking about only the money, then the business doesn't go the way you want it. So you've got to find something that you really enjoy doing, okay? You're doing it with people that you enjoy being with, and you have fun doing it,
right?
Okay? And so, and something you can be passionate about. And so that's why we do this. We do it. It's not always fun. There's enough fun. There's opportunity to make money, but it's a great way to make money because of the things that we're doing to make money.
And helping people, and again, back to the brand, we switched everything up of like, the brand needed to speak to why we're doing this business. And that kind of answers the question, is like, we wanted to raise the level of real estate, raise the level of integrity within the investment world in our city, in our area, because we saw a lot of people doing really shoddy remodels and screwing people over. And we were like, we don't want to be that company. We want to be the company that's raising the bar. We're having fun doing it. And that's what our brand really speaks to. And in turn, as we've built that, we have attracted really cool people, talented people, but people that have our same personality and operate on the same level as us, which makes work even more fun, right? And then also the clients that we attract on the retail and wholesale side are really cool people as well, which makes work even that much more fun. Like, the people that we're working with choose to work with us because they're relating to our brand. And that means they have similar interests, similar, you know, everything, and it makes it really fun to work with them.
I think part of the focus, if you can envision this, rather than focusing on what we do and how we make money at what we do, we focus on the people that we work with. Okay, so somebody that needs to sell their home, somebody that needs to buy their home, somebody that's in a bind and needs someone to buy it for cash. We always approach it from the point of view of what is best for them. Okay, let's say we go and someone wants to sell their house for cash, but we know that we can buy it for cash, but they'd be better off, because of the condition of the house, to list it. Okay, we don't go in there and say, okay, we're going to buy this, and try and hit them hard to buy it for that low price when we know that they could make more money by listing it.
Right.
So we always take that approach. We want to do what's best for them. If we do that, we help others, then it'll come back to us.
What's the best way that my audience can help you at Muve Real Estate? What's the best way they can contact you?
The best way to contact us is on our website. The movegroup.com is our traditional real estate website. Okay. So that's Muve is spelled with a U, M-U-V-E. And then our wholesale site is moveproperties.com. But really, the best thing I think to help is if you got people moving here, to obviously reach out to us, or if you got deals that pop up here, we want to look at them. Because
right in the Salt Lake area?
The Salt Lake area. Salt Lake and Park City?
Yep. Yeah, that's it. We've got one of the things that I think we've done well is we've got different investment strategies, diversification of business models where deals come in. We always try and look at every deal and say, okay, how is this a deal? Not like we only have one little pigeonhole that we work with, but anything that comes on our table, we either know how to do it, or we know someone that knows how to do it that we partner with. And that's been a huge difference in our business lately, is we're leveraging relationships to say, okay, we're not the pro, but let's partner with this guy or this guy or this guy. And now we've delegated a lot of responsibilities out, but we're still able to work the deal and to learn at the same time.
Okay, so we'll put that in the show notes. I got the website, the Muve Group, and the Muve Properties, and a way to contact you on their personal information. If you want to put your email on there or some way they can get in touch with you, I'll make sure if anyone's in that, if they're listening right now, you're in the Salt Lake City area, Utah, Park City, and you want to connect with Matt and Greg, I can tell you that it would be one heck of a connection. Thank you so much, both of you, for being on here. You're an inspiration to me. I know you're inspiration to others. What's particularly powerful whenever I see a family work together, and I know I don't see behind the scenes, and I know that you guys kind of don't always get along, like you said, Greg, but the power of seeing you guys work together is really inspirational, and seeing that you're creating a successful business, and then Matt using your skills with the branding and the videos and just making it all work. It's really cool to see that, and I've just enjoyed getting a chance to know you, and I'm looking forward to getting a chance to know you more and more. So thank you for taking the time to be on our Real Estate Investing Profit Master podcast series. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us, and we appreciate your friendship with us. You've helped us a lot in our business, and it's huge. We're really glad that we've met you.
I love it, man. I appreciate it. All right, so remember, be a servant. Just like Matt and Greg, servant leaders out there in Utah, and make sure that you're on the next series, the next podcast series for Real Estate Investing Profits, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Bye, guys.
Thanks a lot.
All right, bye now.
Bye.
You've been listening to another Real Estate Investing Profits Master Podcast series. To receive your free real estate book, Down and Dirty, Ultimate Real Estate Investing Quick Start Guide, how to quit your job to start flipping houses in 90 days or less, head online and go to realestateinvestingprofits.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Real Estate Investing Profits. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.